Hi, everyone. It's Sonia McDonald here, and I want to invite you all on this incredible live today. And I want you to share and comment because if you're like me and like many, gosh, hundreds, if not thousands of people that we have worked with and really trying to inspire their inner greatness, you struggle with self-kindness and self-love. And today I wanted to share some tips around how to practice self-kindness and self-love for real, right? And I don't know about you, but life is going past so quickly. I can't believe it's September. And I want you to think about how you're spending your time. Time is our most precious resource. And I don't know, I want to look back on my life. There's so many things I want to leave in terms of a legacy, but one of those things I want to look back on my life is that I led an authentic life where I was truly courageous, kind, and compassionate to myself, because the kinder you are to yourself, the more self-love you practice for yourself, the kinder and more self-love you have for others. It has to start within, right? So I posted an article today on LinkedIn. Stay tuned. I'm about to post it on my websites as well. But I thought this was such an important issue around self-kindness and self-love because, you know, as you know, I live and breathe this leadership space, and leadership is not a role or title. It's an attitude and it's a choice, right? And it's all about us seeing ourselves as leaders, because leadership is about helping others and inspiring others to do more, be more, achieve more, right? To kind of get the extraordinary out of everybody. But it has to start with us. Like, how do we get the extraordinary and how do we inspire ourselves and have that self-acceptance and that self-love? Now, I'm pretty disappointed in myself because it got me thinking this weekend. I saw some photos of myself last week. I was speaking on this panel. I saw some photos, and here I am. I live and breathe this space, and I've coached thousands of people around this. I have been on stage hundreds of times about leadership and courage and kindness and impact and all the different things I talk about, just how to just rock it. And, you know, and I saw this photo of myself, and out loud, and my daughter was with me, I went, oh my gosh, I won't tell you what I said about myself. And my daughter looked at me and she went, Mom, stop. And I thought, I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I thought it, and I can't believe I said it out loud. And it's okay to think these things, right? I'm not saying that we're all human beings. Like, there's going to be little, I call them ants, crawling into our brains now and again. But it's how we squash the ants, right? I even I even wrote a book about it, Just Rocket. I wrote this for my daughter and everyone out there to see their inner greatness. So I wanted to share some keys, and I've written a list here so I'm able to capture all of them. And I would love you to also tell me, like, what works for you and how you can practice more self-love, right? And if you do, I'll send you a little gift, a little ebook around this space, just to say thank you for sharing. Because the thing is, I'm sure there's so many people out there that kind of feel the same way you or I do, right? That we beat ourselves up, and it's like, why? Particularly women. Hey, and I work with everybody, and I definitely have men coming into my coaching that are not kind and don't practice self-love, right? But I tend to find women are beating themselves up a lot more than they should be. Okay, so here are some tips, and definitely look at my post today and subscribe to the Leadership Crusader on LinkedIn, or even go to LeadershipHQ and Sonia McDonald, my websites, because there's some freebies there when you sign up, and there's some great free resources and blogs there. Okay, I want you to see, and also I want you to see self-love as a practice, not a destination, right? It's a real journey. If I had a time machine, I would definitely go back to myself, younger self, and say, please love yourself and accept yourself. So I want you to see it as a continuous practice. And you'll start to change the frame, you change the game, right? It's not a destination. It's absolutely a journey. So invest time in self-love and self-kindness. Also, in terms of reality, right? Sometimes, like in terms of life doesn't go the way we expect. It definitely have its ups and downs. I don't know about you. I'm sure lots of you have experienced adversity and challenges in your life. Just because reality kind of isn't what you expect, it doesn't mean you can't love yourself or you need to stop loving yourself. I think that's really important around really getting that self-love and worth from who you are, not from what you expect. This was a really interesting insight for me, and I'll share a bit of a story last year. Um, I won't go into the ins and outs of the story, but last year there was this client I was working with, and I really thought that we were going to be running a leadership program this year. And I invested so much time and energy for free, like my time, because, we're really passionate about kindness and wisdom and helping and serving others. Anyway, literally at the 11th hour, the client decided to change the scope and decided to go with someone that worked in a space that we didn't work in. And I was gutted. Honestly, I was so gutted, and I really beat myself up about it. And I realized, I thought, my gosh, I started to attach my self-worth to my work, because I felt the business Leadership HQ and the work I was doing, we weren't accepted for this client. There was something wrong with me, and I took it so personally. And I thought, hang on a second, they didn't choose me. They just decided not to choose Leadership HQ because another company could offer them an area that we didn't work in and we didn't want to work in. And it was completely different to what we do in this leadership space. And I kind of beat myself up about it. And I thought, I have attached too much of my self-worth to my work. My work and my company are part of who I am, but they're not me. Like, I'm really valuable and worthy, and I really love myself. And does that make sense? Like, so don't take it personally. And if things don't go right or don't go to plan, don't beat yourself up about it. Just go, okay, what can I learn from this? Because don't attach your self-love and your worth to the things in terms of reality that might not be going to plan, right? I think that's another one that's really important. Also, and I do this, and there's so many clients I work with around this, is that there's a lot of negative self-talk based on things that are perception, not reality. And it's really interesting when we kind of like think about that, right? It's kind of like, I call it this fear, false evidence appearing real. And it's like, well, I can't do that. Tell me why you can't do that. No, I just can't. And it's like, well, tell me why. Where's the evidence that you can't do that? Where's the evidence that you're not good enough? Where's the evidence that you're not smart enough, that you're not worthy enough, right? So I think that it's really important that you see where the evidence and data is. So many times I'll say to people when I'm coaching or working with them, oh, great, okay, where's the evidence? Where's the data? And it's like, oh, I don't have the evidence or data. It's like, okay, well, you've got this negative self-talk, and you've got so you need to squash the ants, right? You need to squash your automatic negative thoughts, because think about your brain like a stage. Think about that you are the director of that stage, okay? And think about if you've got bad kind of actors or actresses on that stage, right? Then no one's going to want to buy tickets to that play or that show. So it's really important that you have an Oscar award-winning actors and actresses or whoever on that stage, right? So you are in charge. You're the director of that stage. So get them off the stage if they're not serving you. Okay. I think as well, and look, I don't know about you in terms of if you've ever gone through any sort of trauma, is it can make self-love a lot more challenging. Where do I go with this? Gosh, it's hence I wrote this book, Just Rocket, for my daughter, who if I don't know if many of you know about this, but she got bullied so badly when she was a teenager online and at school for being different and for being kind. And she's the most spectacular young woman now. So badly. She was in and out. She ended up leaving school. She had some really, really debilitating mental health challenges. I spent years with her trying to support her and love her as much as I could as a mother. And I wasn't perfect. It was really challenging because I'm a full-time solo parent. And the trauma that she had during that time, and she's working through it. And today she still works through it, but she really does practice now self-love and self-kindness so much more, but it can make it challenging. So I think it's around that acceptance, right? That if you've gone through trauma, it's really important that you see someone about it. My daughter does see someone about it. When my life fell apart in China and I became a full-time solo parent, it was probably one of the most, oh my gosh, I can't even, the memories I have of it, the trauma that my daughter and I experienced during that time and the stories I could tell you, I had to see someone around it. I lost so much confidence and self-love. I came back to Australia and I just, even though I was really courageous in building a life for her and I lost so much of my self-worth and so much self-love. And I needed to see a counselor. I needed to see a specialist to help me process it and get through it. So I'm a big advocate for mental well-being. It's like when you see a personal trainer, right? You're going to see a personal trainer to get fit. You need sometimes, we need those times when we need someone to talk to. That's why I love the coaching space. It's around, and I'm not a psychologist or a counselor, even though I've studied neuroscience or psychology, but having those people around you that you can seek professional help with, please do it. Please ask recommendations from others who they might recommend or see. I've put a link around some ways to see a therapist in my article on LinkedIn. So please do that, because self-love can be more challenging when you've gone through trauma, but you can absolutely get there by getting advice and by getting help. Okay, I think the other thing that I think is really important, so we've spoken about self-love as a practice, not a destination, that you can still love yourself even though reality at the moment is probably challenging for you. Okay, that to squash the ants and negative thoughts, try and find the evidence and data, because I'm sure that it's kind of false evidence appearing real, that kind of fear. Don't let courage stop you. Like, courage is everything to get that self-love and self-kindness. Setting boundaries is really important. I agree. Connection is everything. Setting boundaries really helps with self-worth. I actually write it about in here around only have people on your rowboat that want to row your boat with you, people that care about you, support you, want to lift you up. Get rid of people. And again, it's a huge life lesson for me, and one that I speak to about with so many people around setting boundaries around even online boundaries. So being really cognizant of comparison and looking at, Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and this kind of, look at their lives and look at how great they're going, and kind of then comparing yourself and therefore beating yourself up that you don't have that or you don't look like that. Remember, we only post things that, or most of us, I'm very vulnerable. I post things sometimes with my challenges. Is I also even post a lot of things where I'm kind of like not at my best, to go, this is real, this is me, right? Because I think we need to keep it real, because a lot of people are comparing themselves on social media. So keep boundaries around that, and remember, people are only posting pretty much all the great and positive things in their lives, but also setting boundaries around saying no, letting go of people that aren't serving you or bringing you down. I think you only surround yourself with people that love you or going to give you love. What do they say? You're the average of the 5 or 6 people that you hang out with. It's really important that you have a great tribe and that we're supporting each other and lifting each other up. I think that is fundamental. We need to, and this is why self-love is important, because if we love ourselves, we're going to love everyone else and bring each other up. And there's real power in doing that as well. And also self-acceptance is worthwhile. So even though you might sometimes go, I don't know about this self-love thing, it kind of seems too big for me, I don't know if I can get there, start with self-acceptance. I love radical acceptance, and I talk about that in my article. Just self-acceptance. Like, we're very much, when we coach, particularly around this space, like, we talk a lot about strengths. We talk a lot about what are your talents, what's great about you, and also where you're putting your focus. So I talk a lot about the self-regulate, the RAS, the reticular activating system. It's like attention goes, energy flows, right? And the RAS, reach out to us if there's anything today that you'd love to know more about. The RAS kind of determines what you focus on. Like, there's a lot to the reticular activating system. Google it. I've got a great video around if you want us to share it with you. But it's like when you go and buy a car. Okay, so you go and buy a car and then you see the car everywhere and you're like, I didn't realize everyone, drove this, whatever it is, a Honda or a Hyundai or a Nissan. And then it's kind of like, wow, okay. And you hadn't noticed the car that much before, but when you've made a decision to buy the car, you see it all the time. I don't know. Put your hand up if you've ever experienced that, right? The thing is, it happens with all aspects of our lives. Whatever we decide to focus on, or whatever we've kind of gone, oh, and it's called DIPPY, dangerous, interesting, pleasurable, important. When we decide to focus on self-love, self-acceptance, our strengths, gratitude is a big one for self-love and self-acceptance, being grateful for what you have, is when we focus on that, we start to see that data. When we focus on, this is what's wrong with me, and I'm not good enough at this, and I don't have that, again, your RAS is going to show you that data. So you, again, the whole reticular activating system, the RAS, you set your RAS. I wake up every day and go, this is what I'm going to focus on today. I do affirmations, I do visualizations, I journal. Even before I go to bed, 5 minutes before I go to bed, I practice gratitude, self-love, self-kindness, because that helps me before I go to sleep around setting up my subconscious as well. But when I wake up, I set my RAS. So there's a couple of tips there to really help you around practicing self-kindness and loving yourself for real. Life is so short, right? And I think, I don't know about you, if you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's September already. How are you using your time? Time is so precious. Also, be a role model for others. Like I was thinking on the weekend when I was thinking negatively about, and even speaking negatively about myself, and I couldn't believe I did in front of my daughter. The whole reason I do this is to be a role model. And I want to be a role model for everyone out there, for particularly young women and anyone, right? And I thought to myself, gosh, this is really important to me because we need greater humans who love each other more. And great humans make great leaders, and great leaders make great humans. And when we work with, particularly in this leadership space, leaders who are kind and compassionate, how brilliant would that be if we had more leaders around the world like that as well? So I want you to think about those areas I spoke about today. Read the article that I posted today on the Leadership Crusader. Sign up to our blogs at LeadershipHQ, Sonia McDonald. If you want to find out more about my speaking, my coaching, the work we do, the great and incredible work we do at Leadership HQ, our outstanding women in leadership programs, our leadership essential programs, credentials, gosh, our workshops, our leadership awards, anything we can do to support you and your teams and your organizations or anyone in your life, see their inner greatness and be great, then please reach out to us at Leadership HQ. I'll be sharing more of this, more of these kind of lives to help you around this leadership and courage and kindness space. If there's any topics you'd love to hear about, please let me know. I'm going to be speaking on stage over the next few months. So if you'd love to know more about some of these events and speaking platforms that I'm going to be part of, please reach out to me and the team. We have got a Republic of Women event happening in November, the 3rd of November. It is going to be amazing. The tickets are super, super inexpensive because we wanted to fill the room with remarkable women to lift them up. And because we need to see more women stepping in, stepping up and standing up. But in saying that, we need everyone to practice self-kindness and love themselves for real. And that's anyone, any gender, anyone, right? So thank you for listening to me today. If you would love a copy of a journal that we've got based on this, please reach out to us. Please write down how you're going to practice more self-love and kindness, and we'll send you a link with a code to get access to that. And yeah, if there's anything else you'd love to hear lives about, please reach out to the team or myself anytime, because I love to share the wisdom and knowledge. And remember to always stay kind and stay courageous. Thank you.